The silent revolution, how banks are secretly joining forces to fight financial crime. What if I told you that while you were scrolling TikTok and arguing about politics, the entire global banking system quietly underwent the biggest transformation in crime fighting since the invention of money itself? Between 2023 and 2024, six major economies completely rewrote the rules. Your bank can now share your financial data in ways that would have been illegal just 3 years ago. A new system called Cosmic in Singapore is tracking every transaction in real time, and cross border financial surveillance just became reality. But here's the question that should keep you awake at night: are we actually safer, or are we just being watched? I'm about to show you how a silent revolution happened right under our noses and why it affects every single person who uses a bank account. Interactive question. Before we dive in, what do you think bothers you more? Criminals getting away with financial crimes or banks sharing your personal data without you knowing? Drop your answer in the comments. Here's something most people don't realize. Economic crime costs the global economy trillions of dollars every single year. We're talking about money laundering, terrorism financing, fraud schemes that make your credit card getting skipped look like pocket change. For decades, banks operated like security guards who couldn't talk to each other. Bank A might suspect you're running a money laundering operation, but they couldn't legally tell Bank B. Meanwhile, you're moving dirty money between institutions, and each bank only sees a tiny piece of the puzzle. Think about it. If you wanted to move stolen money across borders, this system was basically designed to help you succeed. Then, in 2022, the Financial Action Task Force dropped a bombshell report. They basically told the world's governments, your current system is broken. Fix it, or watch criminals destroy the global economy. That's when everything changed. Have you ever wondered how criminals move billions across borders without getting caught? What do you think was the biggest weakness in the old system? What happened next was unprecedented. Six major economies decided to do something that had never been done before. They gave banks permission to share your financial data with each other. Let me walk you through the timeline. The United States led with Section 314B, essentially creating the template for legal information sharing. But that was just the beginning. Singapore launched something called the Cosmic Platform. Only six banks in the entire country have access to this system, and it monitors transactions in real time. We're talking about AI that can spot suspicious patterns across multiple banks simultaneously. The UK passed the Economic Crime and Corporate Transparency Act, giving banks both direct and indirect sharing capabilities. Translation: British banks can now warn each other about suspicious customers faster than you can transfer money between accounts. The European Union introduced Article 75, creating cross border collaboration within Europe. Your financial activity in Germany can now trigger alerts in French banks. Mexico and Canada jumped on board as the latest members of this alliance. Picture this: six countries, representing some of the world's largest economies, all agreeing to share financial intelligence. It's like the Avengers, but for catching money launderers. Which country's approach sounds most concerning to you? Singapore's real time monitoring, the UK's warning system, or the EU's cross border sharing? Here's where things get really interesting. This alliance didn't just give banks permission to chat, it gave them superpowers. Power number one: real time messaging between banks about suspicious customers. If Bank A flags you for suspicious activity, Bank B knows about it before you finish your coffee. Power two: warning networks. One bank's concern becomes everyone's concern instantly. Power three: joint investigations. Banks are now solving crimes together, sharing evidence, and coordinating responses. Power four: transaction tracing across multiple institutions. They can follow your money through the entire banking system like breadcrumbs. Power 5: AI powered risk detection that spots patterns no single bank could see alone. These systems learn from data across multiple institutions. Power 6: cross border alerts. Crime doesn't respect borders, and now neither does banking surveillance. Power 7: collaborative monitoring systems. Think of it as a shared security camera network, but for your bank accounts. Power 8: intelligence development. Banks are creating new crime fighting insights by combining their data. Power 9: rapid response networks that can stop fraud in real time across multiple institutions. Here's a real example of how this works. Let's say you suddenly start receiving large cash deposits and immediately transferring them to offshore accounts. Under the old system, each bank might think you're just a high volume customer. Under the new system, the pattern triggers alerts across multiple institutions and they coordinate a response within hours. Of these nine powers, which one do you think will be most effective at stopping financial crime? And which one makes you most uncomfortable from a privacy perspective? But here's what nobody talks about in the glossy press releases. What happens when this system gets it wrong? Financial exclusion without appeal. Once you're flagged in this network, good luck getting unflagged. There's no clear process to challenge a false accusation, no appeals court for algorithmic decisions. You could be permanently marked in shared databases across multiple countries. Imagine trying to open a bank account when every institution already thinks you're suspicious. The chilling reality is this: once one bank flags you, they all might. And unlike criminal court, you don't get a lawyer, you don't get to see the evidence, and you don't get a trial. I found stories of people who were denied banking services because they had the same name as someone on a watch list. Others who were flagged because their spending patterns looked suspicious to an algorithm that couldn't understand their legitimate business model. The system is designed to err on the side of caution, which means innocent people get caught in the net. What would you do if you were suddenly denied banking services and no one would tell you why? How would you prove your innocence when you can't even see the accusation? So here we are, living in a world where financial institutions have unprecedented power to share information, detect crime, and protect the global economy. The silent revolution is complete. Six major economies have fundamentally changed how banks operate. Crime fighting capabilities that seemed like science fiction just 5 years ago are now standard practice. Cross border financial surveillance is reality, but we're also living in a world where your financial privacy has been permanently altered, where algorithmic decisions can cut you off from the banking system entirely, where the balance between security and rights is still being figured out by trial and error. The question isn't whether this system will affect you, it's whether you'll have a voice in how it continues to develop. Will these new powers actually make us safer from financial crime? Will the benefits outweigh the risks to privacy and civil liberties? And most importantly, will there be oversight to prevent abuse? After everything you've learned today, do you think this collaboration between banks makes us safer or does it go too far? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. If this opened your eyes to how much the financial world has changed without most people noticing, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I cover stories like this, the big changes happening behind the scenes that affect all of us. And if you want to stay ahead of changes that could affect your financial life, because in a world where the rules are changing this fast, staying informed isn't optional anymore. What other financial topics do you want me to investigate? Drop your suggestions in the comments below.